Vegapunk said that the fate of the entire world rests in the hands of the one who finds the One Piece. So who is it gonna be? Today I'll be making a video on all the final saga players of One Piece, as seen in this manga panel from the end of the Egghead Island arc. And I'll be discussing each and every single one of these characters, my thoughts on them, and the stock report, of course. What's their stock gonna look like? Is it gonna be high or low? Well, let's find out. First of all, what's the One Piece treasure? What's the nature of it? Of course, we have no idea what it actually could be. We have some good speculations going on, but we cannot actually say definitely what it is. Some people say it's a power source, could be like a gin in a bottle situation where you can wish for something to happen, because that's almost like what it sounded like when Vegapunk was talking about it. The fate of the entire world rests in the hands of the one who finds the One Piece. It sort of sounds like a MacGuffin that grants you the power to remold the world, or something along those lines. That's what it sounded like to me, at least. Yeah. Let's move on to our first player in the final saga, and also the latest one who we have been introduced to. In the actual page, he was just this blacked out character who looked like Shanks. So many people, that was the start of the Shanks' evil twin theories, really starting to pop up after that. Many people also thought it was the man marked by flames, but no, it's actually been confirmed that that character in the spread was actually Shamrock, so it is Shamrock. But yeah, we got introduced to Shamrock pretty recently in Elbaf arc. He just showed up and immediately left. Just had to make that entrance. I don't know, well, kind of anticlimactic in a way, in my opinion. But yeah, we have been seeing him a lot more in the flashback. He is Shanks' twin, of course. The two got separated in God Valley. This little switcheroo with the dragon, the babies just go flying all over the places. And because of that, many people have been speculating that could there be a switch up recently, more recently, in the story at some point between Shanks and Shamrock. Could they have switched places? Another one coming down to become the red-haired Shanks, and the other one going to Marijoa. Of course, Shanks is missing an arm, so but there's of course some kind of a fake arm, maybe. I don't know. That's just a theory. We don't really know. But yeah, Shamrock seems to be a very important character that Oda has been hyping up a lot recently in SBSs and other formats. Of course, Shamrock has that connection to Garling and Emu, who are also in the spread as the final saga players. He's Garling's son, and he has the connection to Emu as the contract, the deep sea contract, or whatever that's called. I don't remember. But yeah, we're gonna have to see what kind of a Shamrock is pretty question mark right now. We don't know much about his character yet. Is he gonna be a good guy in the end? Possibly. We know that Garling, of course, did a horrible act upon their mother at God Valley, stabbing her through the stomach and killing her. So if Shamrock knows about that, I cannot see him being on the Garling side in the end. But also, I do see it's pretty obvious that Shamrock and Shanks could have some kind of a battle at some point. Shamrock could be a Shanks' opponent, or Shamrock could be Loki's opponent, of course, because both of them actually have legendary devil fruits on their weapons. So that would be kind of cool to see Shamrock versus Loki at some point. Yeah, but that's pretty much all I have to say about Shamrock at this point. We don't really know much about him. It's gonna be interesting to see where his character goes. And then we have Koby, the future of the Marines, the possible fleet admiral. I mean, it's kind of crazy if he doesn't become the fleet admiral. That would be kind of crazy. But yeah, The last time we saw him, he had this desire to stop Luffy at the end of the Egghead Island arc. He says something along the lines of, I have to stop Luffy's dream from becoming a reality, or something along those lines. Um, Many people have interpreted that pretty negatively, but we know that Luffy is a pirate and Koby is, of course, a righteous marine. He has the honesty punch, honesty impact. Uh, so yeah, of course, he has to stop Luffy from achieving the One Piece if it's some sort of a thing that can decide the fate of the entire world. He cannot let that fall into Luffy's hands. Uh, but yeah, if the One Piece is some kind of an object that can reshape the world, Koby is a pretty safe bet to say that it will end up in his hands because he's the most righteous character out of all of these in the spread as one of the final Saga players. So I would say that Koby is gonna play an important role in the final arcs of the story. But I just wish Oda would have paid a little bit more attention to Koby throughout the later half of the series, because we have really not seen much of him. After Marineford, he was gone for so many chapters, so many hundreds of chapters, and we see him next time at the at chapter 900 or something before the reverie starts, and that's a long time without Koby if he's one of our main characters towards the end of the story. So I think Oda has sort of fumbled Koby. Of course, he still has time to save, but at the same time, it's been such a long time, and I just wish we could have seen more of Koby throughout all of these years. He could have played some kind of a part in some arc, I think. Or maybe not. Oda knows better, but at the same time, Koby has been sort of a fumble in my opinion. But yeah, big things to come from Koby in the future. Pretty high stocks, I would say. Let's see. Then we got the big guy. Everybody hates on this guy. I hate on this guy. Yeah, of course. Figureland Garling, Imu's new slave as one of the Gorosei, replacing Saturn as the figurehead of science and development, or whatever it was. It's something about science. He's a greedy old man, most likely, because he was a cocky, greedy bastard in his youth in God Valley. He saw an opportunity for a better wife in Shaki, so he just murdered his first wife at God Valley. If you can even call Shanks and Shamrock's mom actually his wife, which just he's just an evil man, and that's why, because he's included separately from Emu and Shamrock. So I would imagine that he has his own goals, his own motivation for all of this. So I think he's planning to usurp Emu at some point in the story. I don't know if he will succeed, because I don't think we have time for that really. But I think he has his own goal, and he's just using Emu as a way to advance his own goals. Maybe to get the One Piece for himself or something like that. But I don't know if that's gonna work out for him. But yeah, he's gonna play some big important role for the future of the story for sure. He's gonna have a reunion with Shanks and Shamrock, of course. He might be Shanks' opponent, maybe not, I don't know. It's pretty difficult to say about. This is one of those question mark characters who could go absolutely anywhere in the story. I have no idea really. And we're gonna have that reveal of his interesting Gorosei monster demon form, of course, because he got that after becoming a Gorosei. He's gonna have some kind of a cool Zoan form. Many people have theorized maybe Fenrir, the wolf of the Nordic mythology, or something like that. But that's just speculation. Could be some kind of a Japanese yokai, of course. We're gonna have to see. I don't want to speculate on that. It's not really relevant at all. But yeah, Garling is totally a character to look forward to. He's gonna have his own plot, I think, and he's not gonna be content with the idea of serving Emu as a Gorosei. He's gonna want his own thing, I'm pretty sure. Then we have Sabo, my least favorite character out of all of the characters on the spread. I do not care about Sabo. I do not care about Sabo whatsoever. He was pretty cool when he showed up in the throne room to shoot the fireball at the Gorosei and the Emu. He was like, I'm gonna end this story right here. I'm gonna fucking fireball the Gorosei. I'm gonna fireball Emu. But no, after that, he's just been such a I don't know how to say this. He survives Emu's attack first of all, and he manages to somehow flee all the Gorosei, which doesn't make any sense. First of all, it doesn't make any sense that he gets out of the throne room. Then he survives the Lulusia incident as well. Like, come on, this guy. Of course, he survives, but at the same time, he's uh, just a plot character in my opinion, and I don't care much about him. I mean, we know we have to. I know we have to have some kind of a character at the Revolutionary Army that we have to have a POV of, and that's Sabo. But okay, that's enough roasting Sabo. I'm sorry about roasting him too much. I just don't care about him much. Flame Emperor. He's called the Flame Emperor, so he could almost be seen as like the fifth Emperor of the Sea. Maybe he's pretty powerful. He has a very powerful Logia Devil Fruit, the Flame Fruit. That's a very powerful Devil Fruit, and I think he can evolve that into the blue flames at the end of the story. Like he has blue flames. That would be super cool. Also, again, like Garling and Emu and Shamrock, Sabo is also included separately of Monkey D. Dragon, although they are in the same revolution. So could there be his own revolutionary goal or something? Like, does Sabo want some kind of a different outcome to the revolution than Dragon does? Could there be some kind of a revolutionary, like, does he want a softer, nicer revolution compared to Dragons? We're gonna have to see, but that was a surprise for me that he was included separately from Dragon. That was pretty interesting in my opinion. And if Oda actually develops that into something, I think there is potential for Sabo to be more interesting, absolutely. If he follows some kind of a different ideology from Dragon. And of course, he's Luffy's brother. They're gonna reunite at some point in the story, probably towards the end, at Laugh Tale maybe. It's gonna be interesting to see. He's, I don't know. Sabo is. I hate on this character too much to give an honest opinion what his goal, what his position in the end is gonna be. But yeah, he's probably gonna fight one of the Urosei members or one of the Holy Knights. I could totally see him teaming up with Luffy to fight against Akainu, but I cannot see Sabo fighting against Akainu in one-on-one situation. I cannot see that happening, although many people seem to like to say that. Yeah, that's my opinion on Sabo. And let's move on to the King of the World, or the false King of the World, more like. Imusama, Nero Imuna. Nero Imuna, yeah, that's his name now. Connection to Joy Boy and Davy Jones, he seems to really like to call Luffy Joy Boy, and then in the Roxas flashback, we of course saw him calling Rox the Zebek Davy Jones when he appeared in God Valley. So it seems that Emu's mind is all screwed up, probably because he has lived for 800 years, so his mind cannot comprehend things anymore that well, or something like that. Could be. Because at some points, Emu, of course, did refer to Rox the Zebek as Rox the Zebek, but then all of a sudden he refers to Rox as Davy Jones, so maybe Emu is just an old man, really old man. He's having memory issues. Demonic power / devil fruit. I think it would be kind of strange for Oda to introduce a whole new power system at this point in the story. We're so late in the game, it's the final saga now, so I think Emu has some kind of a devil fruit. It's some kind of a devil fruit, the sea devil. I'm not gonna speculate. It doesn't matter whatsoever because I cannot guess it. It's impossible to guess something like that. But at the same time, we have learned some things about the devil fruit, like the different contract levels, different contracts, that deep sea contract, that abyss contract. Those are directly referenced to the sea itself, so it could be the sea devil. It's absolutely possible. But he has those kind of strange abilities. The grimoire, the spell book. I mean, like he can pull things out of the spell book. He can control people. It's such a vast ability for devil fruit. We have never seen a devil fruit really that has that kind of an arsenal of abilities. And he can grant those demonic forms to the Gorosei as well, most likely. I think those are the Gorosei's. The Gorosei have gained those devil forms from Imu's power directly. But yeah, I think I'll have to make a separate video if I want to talk more about that devil fruit idea or whatever the power that Imu has, because I could really talk about that for tens of minutes, and I don't want to do that right now. But I think Imu is like a combination of the 19 kings of the Void Century, who made some kind of a contract either with the devil or they used the devil fruit to form this kind of a combination of themselves as a one singular entity inside the Nerona Imu's body, who was one of the 19 kings. So I think Nerona Imu is the host body of the 19 kings of the past. Because in the anime, of course, we have heard Imu speaking, and it's a mixture of different voices almost, like a mixture of a female and a male voice. So that could really fit into it if he is a combination of the 19 kings of the past. And I think Imu is going to be our key to the Void Century flashback. When we finally get to see Imu's full form, if he has a full form, it could be just a black darkness, a void entity, sort of a creature. But if I think we're gonna see the Void Century flashback through Imu explaining it to us or something along those lines. I think, and I think Blackbeard is gonna. Well, I'm not gonna talk about Blackbeard yet that much because we're gonna get to him. But I think Blackbeard is gonna come for the throne that belongs to him, because it was once the Davy Jones's throne. Like, was Davy Jones once the king of the world, and Imu stole that throne from him. So I think Blackbeard is coming for Imu, and Imu is not really prepared for what's to come. And I don't see Imu being the main villain of the story. Some people say that he's gonna be the main villain. No, I think it's gonna be Blackbeard. Imu is gonna be around for the very end of the story, I'm pretty sure. But at some point, Blackbeard is gonna off him off. I think that's Imu's fate. But also, there's many other characters who need to interact with Imu more. Garling, Shanks, even. Of course, Luffy. Luffy is gonna fight against Imu soon in Elbaf. Maybe there's gonna be a second match after that at Mauricio at some point. But I could also see Luffy versus Imu at Elbaf being the only fight that Luffy gets against Imu. That could be possible if Blackbeard is coming to Mauricio at some point soon. But yeah, Imu is a very interesting character. I like Imu a lot, especially now after the God Valley flashback. I'm interested to see what kind of a part he's gonna play at the end of the story and moving forward. We've been getting a lot of attention on Imu recently in Elbaf and Egghead, so I'm excited to see more of him from the future as well. He has his own goals for the world. He says that Imu's world is not yet complete, and we know that the war of the Void Century never ended for him. That war is still raging on. So I think Imu is gonna have his own goals in getting the One Piece. But then again, he has had 800 years. Is he just procrastinating, or why has he not gotten the One Piece for himself? So that's interesting to think about as well. He's probably there's that one theory that Imu cannot leave the throne room, or he cannot leave Marijo, because we have also seen him in the garden area. So that could be possible that this entity body cannot leave the Marijoa except through the other Holy Knights and the Gorosei that we have seen. We have seen him taking over Gunko, and we have seen him taking over Saturn as well. Saturn as well in the God Valley. So it could be something like that he cannot leave Marijoa. But yeah, I'm excited to see more of him soon. And then we got Kuzan over here. Kuzan is of course one of the Titanic captains of Blackbeard's crew. He fought against Akainu for 10 days at Punk Hazard. That's a crazy feat, by the way, that not many people are talking about. That he actually fought against Akainu for 10 days. That's so crazy to think about. And he of course lost a leg and got scars all over his body. But he's still a badass. Kuzan is a real badass in my opinion. He of course defeated Garp at Hachinosu. Garp was going absolute crazy mode over there. Garp had no plans to get out of there. He was there to die. He was fighting to the death, and Kuzan still beat him. Of course, with the help of Shiryu. Basically, Shiryu backstabbed Garp at one point. But yeah, Kuzan is extremely powerful character who is absolutely gonna play some important role in the end of the story. And he seems to want the One Piece treasure for himself. That seemed like the thing ever since Punk Hazard, when he showed up to defeat Doflamingo for momentarily from killing Smoker. He has that little dialogue with Smoker there at Punk Hazard. And it seems like Kuzan has his own ideology, his own goals, and of course deep inner conflict after everything that has happened in his life. He has been conflicted ever since the O'Hara incident, and he has that connection to Robin and Saul. I don't know if he will ever meet Saul again, but I'm pretty sure that he's gonna meet Robin again at some point during the end of the story. And he's gonna of course betray Blackbeard, but I think Blackbeard is gonna anticipate that, and it's gonna turn out pretty badly for Kuzan. Kuzan might actually get killed off by Blackbeard, by doing some kind of a heroic play at the end, maybe saving Robin's life, could be something like that. But I'm interested to see more of Kuzan. He's one of my favorite characters in the story. He has always been. He has such a cool devil fruit. He has cool personality. He's just overall super cool, and that's yeah. He has the ice fruit. Yeah, that's true. It's gonna be sad if he dies. I'm gonna be sad if he dies, but I think he's one of those characters who has some dead flags written all over him. Yeah, I'm just wondering if I have anything else to add. What kind of a world would Kuzan want? It's very difficult to say at this point. I just hope that Oda delves more into his ideology soon, and he has had that lazy justice, but it doesn't really relate to anything. But yeah, I think he wants to recreate the Marines as this force of good over whatever Akainu is doing right now. So that's his goal, I think, to recreate the Marines as something better, with Koby as the leader, maybe, possibly. And yeah, we're gonna have to see where that goes. Kuzan is an interesting character that I very much enjoy every time he shows up. Alright, and now we got the mystery man himself, Monkey D. Dragon. God, I have nothing to say about this guy. He's just a big question mark. As you can see here on the screen, he continues to look in the east, possibly. Although we did see him in the flashback in God Valley this year. He did a lot of stuff this year in the flashback. So I'm hopeful to see him soon in the story actually do something. Powerful devil fruit. I think he has some kind of a storm slash wind logia, which everybody says that. Yeah, it's pretty obvious what he did in Logue Town. It could be some kind of a mythical Zoan as well, since Oda really likes those right now. But I think originally, at least, it was conceived as some kind of a weather manipulation fruit back during chapter 100, Logue Town. And yeah, he was included separately from Sabo, which was pretty interesting as well. Is his revolution gonna be more dark, more forceful from Sabo's maybe because he's so hardened? He has been hardened by the world. He has seen all these evil acts from the Celestial Dragons and the world government. The God Valley Ohara incident. What happened to Kuma and Genie? Is Monkey D. Dragon gonna just walk in and murder everybody or something like that? I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. Also, mark on the face. It's many people have been saying that it's like a Skypians, the Shandian tribes mark. I think it will somehow tie into the origins of the monkey clan, the monkey family, if they originate from Skypia. Like there's been a lot of theories on the monkeys coming from Skypia. I think it's something that's very possible. It would add a lot on the Skypia arc as well. The Skypia arc has been becoming more important and important every single year, pretty much. And Tritoma is his wife. Like maybe we have no idea. Tritoma was of course one of the Amazon Lily pirate empresses before Boa Hancock. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, like what points to that is of course Kuma sent Luffy to Amazon Lily for some reason. That was always kind of a strange thing because Luffy doesn't really have anything tying him to the Amazon Lily. Of course, he beats Boa Hancock there, but Kuma couldn't have predicted that. He could have never predicted Boa Hancock liking Luffy. So there has to be some kind of other deep connection that Luffy has to Amazon Lily that we don't know about yet. So that's why many people have been theorizing that could the former Empress of Amazon Lily have been Luffy's mom, Tritoma. And what happened to Tritoma if Tritoma is actually Luffy's mom, so we're gonna have to see. Although I have my bets on Crocodile being Luffy's mom all the way till the end. That's my bet. And what's his world post-revolution gonna look like? That's that's another question mark. We're gonna have to see. I mean, I think Dragon is gonna be one of the more interesting characters. But again, he has been around for the story for like ever since the beginning, and we have seen so little of him. I think Oda could have given us something a little more about him. But now we're getting to that part of the story where we're gonna see Monkey D. Dragon much more. Hopefully, at least. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add to Monkey D. Dragon over here. I'm just thinking if I have. No, let's move on. And then we have, of course, the Fleet Admiral of the Navy himself, Sakazuki Akainu. This guy is one of my favorite characters in the series because he's the first character who actually made a change to the status quo. He actually killed Ace, and I think many people hate on him for a wrong reason. Absolutely wrong reason, because he actually made a change to the story. He made a big play on the story, and he's such a menace throughout the Marineford arc. He fights absolutely everybody. He fights Whitebeard, he fights the Whitebeard pirates. This guy's an absolute menace on the battlefield, and I'm so hyped to see him in the final saga, final arc war, whatever the big war is gonna be. I'm so excited to see him go all out, actually show off his Logia awakening powers. That's gonna be so cool when that ultimately happens. Um, Many people have been saying that he's gonna have some kind of a conflict with the world government. I can totally see that because Oda already planted the seeds during the Dressrosa arc when he shows up to the Gorosei's room of authority and he just asks them straight up, "Is there somebody above you? Is there somebody there above you?" And the Gorosei, of course, tell him to get the hell out of there. But Sakazuki is not gonna like about Imu. He's gonna when the truth about Imu comes out to the world, he's not gonna like that. He's immediately gonna turn on the Celestial Dragons, and I think he's gonna take the Marines and he's gonna go for the One Piece himself. And what kind of a world would he create with the One Piece if Sakazuki gets the One Piece in his own hands? Is he gonna like create this authoritarian hellhole of a world where every evil act will be burned down to the very core, like every single pirate is gonna be slaughtered or something like that? His world is gonna look very, very dangerous and rough. Uh, then we also have, of course, Hibari there to balance things out a little bit for him. If Hibari is his daughter, we do not know that. That's not confirmed yet. Although there is many things that point to the fact that Hibari is Sakazuki's daughter. If that's the case, I could totally see some kind of a redemption for Sakazuki at the very end of the story, maybe reconnecting with Hibari. And Hibari is of course very kind, caring girl. So I think I think that would be a very wholesome, beautiful moment. If Akainu finds some kind of a peace at the end with his daughter. Uh, and of course, he has the history with Monkey D. Dragon, as he was always calling Luffy the son of Dragon during the Marineford arc. He never calls Luffy Luffy, he always calls him the son of Dragon. Those two are the same age, so I think they were possibly in the Marines at the same time. Although we know that Akainu joined the Marines at the age of 23 and Monkey D. Dragon was already a Marine at 17. So there's a little bit of a time difference there. But yeah, it's possible that they were in the Marines at the same time. They have history, that's for sure. They have history. Sakazuki knows Dragon and they have had some kind of a history in the past. It's going to be interesting to see more of that. I think we're going to have some kind of a double flashback with Monkey D. Dragon and Sakazuki at some point in the story. We're gonna see history of those two, both of them. And yeah, Sakazuki has also something that I have not mentioned here is that Sakazuki has a 5 billion berry bounty on his head from the Cross Guild. That's the biggest active bounty in the entire series. And Oda loves to hype up Sakazuki. Sakazuki seems to be one of Oda's favorite characters because every single chance he gets to glaze this guy, he takes it. He glazes Sakazuki to the max every single time. It's gonna be hype to see what his role is gonna be at the end of the story. I think he's gonna be one of the final antagonists that Luffy is gonna have to face off. He of course left a scar on Luffy's chest, that iconic axe-shaped scar, and he killed Ace as well. He damaged Jinbei as well, and Luffy also, when Jinbei was telling about Akainu becoming the fleet admiral in, I think it was the Fishman Island arc, Luffy actually reacted to that, holding his scar. So Luffy actually does care about Sakazuki a lot. He has a very deep hatred towards Sakazuki, maybe. I don't know if Luffy can feel hatred per se, but something along those lines. Sakazuki is one of those characters who Luffy wants to fight at the end of the story. I don't think he's gonna be the final villain of the story, but he's gonna be the second last opponent of Luffy's, in my opinion. Right before Luffy fights against Blackbeard, I think he's gonna have to face off against Sakazuki. It's gonna have an absolutely epic battle. I hope that it's a battle similar to what Luffy had with Rob Lucci and Katakuri, like that kind of a absolutely rough, absolutely bloody battle that Luffy is not gonna walk out of without having absolutely shit kicked out of him. I hope Luffy has one of those fights left in the story, because those are the best fights in the entire One Piece in my opinion. Those fights where Luffy is pushed to the absolute limit. And you can feel every single punch, just like in Rob Lucci and Katakuri fights. I love those fights so much. And I hope that Sakazuki is gonna arrive and give that fight. And many people say that Sabo is gonna fight Sakazuki. I can see that. I can totally see that Sabo joins the fight at some point and has some kind of a little battle with Sakazuki possibly, because Sakazuki fought so many characters during the Marineford arc that I cannot see why not. He can fight many characters at the final war as well. He can fight against Buggy the Dragon as well. Maybe even Blackbeard, and maybe even Emu, who knows how the battlefield is gonna look like. But this guy, Sakazuki, is one of those characters who I absolutely love, and I cannot wait to see more of from the future of the series. And then we got the man himself, the GOAT. The GOAT himself, the Buggy the Clown. Of course, he's the leader of the Cross Guild. Immensely powerful. He got the Mihawk, he got the Crocodile. And those two are probably gonna be some of the final opponents for Zoro. Of course, Mihawk is gonna be the final opponent of Zoro's. And I was thinking that maybe Crocodile is gonna be the final opponent for Sanji, because those two never met in Alabasta arc. So it would be kind of funny if, because Sanji also killed the crocodiles, the banana crocodiles, during Alabasta Saga. So there could be some kind of revenge that Crocodile wants on Sanji, maybe. That would be pretty funny. But yeah, he's the leader. Buggy is the leader of Cross Guild, which is now one of the most powerful factions in the world of One Piece. They put the bounties on the Marines as well, and sort of stuff like that. And now they're on the race for the One Piece treasure itself. But I cannot see them coming to play anytime soon. I don't think they will show up in the arc after Elbaf. I don't think they will show up the arc after that. But they will totally show up in the end, of course, at the Laugh Tale arc, whenever we get there. But these guys are being saved up as the very last characters that I think our crew is gonna fight. Connection to Shanks, of course, there's that deep connection, brotherly connection. They both grew up at the Roger's ship, and they're both Roger's sons, almost. And Luffy's first foe, like technically, that's true. Like a first Devil Fruit opponent, of course, there was Alovida and Morgans. But like a first actual Devil Fruit user and a bigger foe was Buggy. So it would be kind of fitting if he was also the last one somehow. I don't know how that's gonna work out, but maybe he's gonna awaken his Devil Fruit, but maybe not. I wanna see Luffy, Buggy being a total loser all the way till the end. In my opinion, it would be pretty funny. Many people have also been saying that he's Rox's illegitimate son. Absolutely, I think it's that's the case, because there's so many pointers to that. There's so many things that point to Buggy being Rox's son. Is that ever gonna be confirmed in the story? Possibly not. Is it gonna have any kind of a big role in Buggy's story? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think so. Maybe. But yeah, Buggy is more than a clown. He's gonna have some kind of a very emotional moments coming up with Shanks. I think if Shanks is gonna lose the Blackbeard, I think Buggy is gonna be there to see it all happen. I think so. And I think those are gonna be some of the more emotional moments in the story. But what is Buggy gonna do with the One Piece though? If he gets his hands on the One Piece, I don't think even he knows what he's gonna do. He has no idea what this is all gonna end up in. He's just going with the flow, I think, which is cool. I love Buggy so much. And one thing that I had in mind was that maybe the citizens of Laugh Tale, when we finally get to see them, some people think that Laugh Tale is gonna be abandoned or some kind of a wasteland of an ancient kingdom that nobody lives in anymore. I think it's gonna be the opposite. I think Laugh Tale is gonna be full of people. I think it's gonna be some of a protected area. And I think it would be pretty funny if the citizens of Laugh Tale were clowns. That would be pretty funny in my opinion. So maybe that's where Buggy originates from, or his mom originates from, if Rox is his dad. But yeah, that's Buggy is an interesting character. Always love to see him in the story. Looking forward to more from him. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we got the big one. Marshall D. Teach, Blackbeard. I believe that Blackbeard is going to be the final antagonist of the story. I don't think there's any reason to doubt it at this point. He's Luffy's foil. He has been ever since the Jaya arc, and it's been lovely to see him every time he shows up. And he started off the final saga in a big way. He made some moves. He defeated Trafalgar Law at the small island, taking all of his poneglyph scrubbings, and also he kidnapped Charlotte the Pudding from the Big Mom's Whole Cake Island. So he now has a person who can read the poneglyphs as well. So that's huge. Also, his crewmates are constantly moving around the world doing things. Katarina Devon and Van Augur, of course, showed up to Egghead to steal Saturn's appearance. And we do not even know the extents of Katarina Devon's Devil Fruit. She could totally be able to see the people's memories that she copies as well. I mean, we don't even need that, really, necessarily, because we have Pudding. Pudding can pull out people's memories as well. She can pull out Garp's memories, for example, because Garp is now being held at the prison in Hachinosu. Blackbeard can learn about everything that Garp knows, basically, and that's huge. Also, we got the real world Blackbeard, of course, one of the most iconic pirate in history, and that's just. This is a pirate story, so that just points to the fact that Blackbeard is gonna be the final antagonist of this pirate manga. He also got the strange Logia, the darkness fruit, which Ace commented on, it acting not like a normal Logia would act, because it seems that Blackbeard cannot change his body into the darkness element itself. He can only summon the darkness into his hands and stuff like that, which is not how Logias normally work. Because and that points to the fact that maybe this is not a Logia at all. Maybe the darkness fruit is just like what Luffy has with the Gum fruit. Could it be that this is some kind of a god of the moon, or god of the rain, or god of the earth type of devil fruit, god of darkness? I don't know. That's something that I can totally see happening. Absolutely. And it's the darkest before the dawn. The dawn of the world is, of course, the final big event of the entire story. The final war possibly being the dawn of the world, and Blackbeard, of course, has the darkness fruit. It's the darkest before the dawn. Luffy defeating Blackbeard means the dawn of the world has come, or something along those lines. I think that's what's gonna happen. That's my headcanon right now. What's gonna happen in the future? Of course, I think Blackbeard is gonna surpass all the Rox's achievements. Whatever Rox did in his crazy flashback, I think Blackbeard is gonna do all of that 10 times better. I think there's gonna be a Admiral versus Blackbeard fight, especially now after Luffy fought against Kizaru in Egghead. Well, the most obvious admiral is, of course, although he's not an admiral anymore, he was an admiral, and many people still categorize him as one. Of course, Kuzan. Kuzan is now a Blackbeard Titanic captain, so there is immediate connection there. And if Kuzan is gonna betray Blackbeard, which is pretty obvious at the end of the story, I think Blackbeard is gonna kill off Kuzan. It seems pretty likely. But if that doesn't happen, and Kuzan has some kind of other path in this story, I could totally see it being Kizaru. Kizaru already fought against Luffy, so it would make sense if he also fought against Blackbeard at some point. Maybe Blackbeard is coming for the new Marineford, and Kizaru has to stop him. And that's the darkness versus the light battle. That would be such a cool thing to see. Maybe that will also be the moment where we see Kizaru's awakening, because Kizaru didn't show his awakening in Egghead for some reason. That was super weird. Like, it would be super odd if we do not see the awakening of Kizaru's Devil Fruit before the end of the story. That would be such a missed opportunity, in my opinion. Of course, that would of course lead to Kizaru's death. I think that would be such a monumental moment in the story if Blackbeard actually killed off Kizaru. So that's one of my headcanon fights that I've been thinking about. Of course, Rocks showed up to Imu's garden area, the flower room, and he told Imu that one day he's gonna return here. And I think now that Rocks is dead, it's gonna be Blackbeard who will return to that room, and he's gonna kill Imu over there in that room. I think that's what's gonna happen. With Katarina Devon being in the control of Saturn's appearance, they can just get inside the Marijoa castle pretty easily, I would imagine. Because I do not think the world government is gonna tell the citizens of the world or anybody that a Gorosei has died. That would be such a monumental loss to the world government that one of their Gorosei has died. So I do not think they're gonna tell the world about that. So Katarina Devon can just use Saturn's appearance to get inside Marijoa or something along those lines, and then Van Augur can just warp everybody else inside the castle after that, probably, or something like that. But yeah, and of course we know that Davy Jones was the previous king of the world, or was maybe almost the king of the world. I do not remember the exact wording of that, how Imu said it or how Rock said it. It seems likely that Blackbeard is gonna aim for that throne, that king of the world throne that Imu now possesses, has possessed for 800 years. So Blackbeard is aiming for that. Also, if he kills off Imu, he's gonna take Imu's devil fruit, whatever that devil fruit is, and I believe he's gonna grant those demonic Gorosei forms to his crewmates: Jesus Burgess, Van Augur, Katarina Devon, Doc Hugh. All of them are gonna get those demonic Gorosei Zoan forms. Imagine that. That would be so cool. Because some people have been saying that the Blackbeard pirates are not threatening enough to be the opponents for the Straw Hats in the end of the story. But imagine Shiryu with a demonic form fighting against Zoro. That would be so cool. And I want to talk a little bit about those devil fruits that the Blackbeard pirates already have. They have such an interesting array of devil fruits, if you think about it. For example, Avallo Bizarro has that island fruit. He can control an entire island. That would be so crazy if he took the control of a laugh tail or something like that. Well, Katarina Devon's devil fruit I've already discussed pretty heftily. Van Augur can warp around crazy, Shiryu can turn invisible. It's just an absolutely incredible array of devil fruits that they possess. And I think Blackbeard has chosen very specific devil fruits for his crewmates to possess. he has hunted down those devil fruits from these different characters. One question mark is, why did Blackbeard want to take Boa Hancock's devil fruit? Because I have no idea about that. I have no idea why would Blackbeard want Boa Hancock's devil fruit. But there's some kind of a very specific reason for that, and we're gonna find that out in the future. Also, an interesting addition to the Blackbeard pirates recently was, of course, Caribou. Caribou was taken by Van Augur and Katarina Devon to Blackbeard, and we know that Caribou knows everything. Caribou basically knows everything about the ancient weapons. He knows about Shirayoshi, he knows about Pluton in Wano, so right now it seems very likely that pretty soon Blackbeard is going to be in the possession of at least one of the ancient weapons, maybe two of them, if he gets to somehow enslave or control Shirayoshi as well. We're going to have to see how that happens, but it seems likely that Blackbeard is going to show up to Wano and he's going to bring down the walls of Wano pretty soon. And he's probably gonna... When we saw Blackbeard drawn as a child, we saw the moon on the background. I wish I would put a picture of it in here, but there was this child drawing of Blackbeard done by Oda, where we see the sun, the moon on the background, like a half moon or something like that. So it's possible that he's the god of the moon, and Luffy is of course the god of the sun. So there would be that sort of foiling again, sun and moon sort of a thing going on. But yeah, Blackbeard is in my top 5 favorite characters in the series, easily one of my favorite characters, and I'm excited to see more of him soon. Yeah. Then we got Shanks over here, red-haired Shanks, and I hope that this Shanks discussion doesn't just turn into talking more about Blackbeard. It can turn into that, unfortunately, but I think Shanks is gonna be the key to everything. He has been protecting Luffy ever since the start, guiding him forward. He stole that Nika fruit from the government ship. And then I think he was planning to give it to Ace, but Luffy accidentally ate it, and that was fated to happen. Devil fruits, the Zoan devil fruits have a mind of their own, and Shanks was recently referred to as Roger's son, just like Buggy was actually. Kaban said that both of them are like sons to Roger and them. I think Shanks is Shanks wants to fulfill whatever Roger started. He wants to fulfill that prophecy, waiting for them all at Laugh Tale. He wants to bring that all to an end, and I do not know when, but at some point in the future he's gonna have a reunion with Garling and Shamrock, and maybe the two brothers are gonna team up to fight against their father or something like that. It could go either way, but I think this meeting with Garling and Shamrock is gonna happen before he meets Blackbeard again. I think that's gonna be one of the more interesting fights that Shanks is gonna get. It's gonna be against his own father at the end. Because we know that Shanks is gonna lose to Blackbeard pretty much. It's gonna happen. That's just how storytelling works. Some things are just predictable. Shanks is not gonna survive the fight against Blackbeard. That's just so obviously written already. There was this one manga panel, and again, I wish I had put it here. But it was at the beginning of the Elbaf arc. We see him talking to Bartolomeo, who was attacking one of Shanks' territories. And Bartolomeo says that his dream is to see Luffy becoming the Pirate King. And Shanks has this look on his face, this kind of a melancholic, sad look on his face. Almost like Shanks knows that he's never gonna see that happen. He's never gonna see the day Luffy becomes the Pirate King, because he's gonna be dead by then. Or he's gonna be he has lost by that point. But yeah, I think Shanks is gonna have very interesting battle against Garling at some point in the story, and after that he's gonna fight against Blackbeard and he's gonna lose. But he's not gonna lose easily. Blackbeard is gonna have the toughest fight in his entire life in Shanks. I think Shanks is gonna be extremely powerful. He's gonna give everything he has against Blackbeard, and I don't think even Blackbeard is gonna walk out of that fight like unscathed. He's gonna be extremely damaged after that fight, and if Shanks, because it's so obvious that Shanks is gonna die in that fight. I've been thinking that maybe he's not gonna die and he's just gonna lose another arm. He's gonna lose his right arm, making him completely useless in the fight. That could happen. I could see that happening. I think the fight against Blackbeard is gonna happen at Laugh-Tale, or close vicinity to Laugh-Tale at least. Maybe at the sea. That would be pretty cool. But when this fight is gonna happen, it's gonna be the most hyped up fight in the entire series. Blackbeard versus Shanks. That's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be so absolutely cool. And the way I've been talking about Shanks here is that he's gonna die. That's his only point. No, it's not. Shanks is absolutely awesome. I love Shanks every time he appears. He is one of my favorite characters in the story. And I hope to see more of him soon. And we have been seeing a lot of Shanks actually. We have been seeing him a lot in the flashback recently, and I think he might actually be showing up to Elbaf. That's not completely out of the question. Yeah, I just hope that he has some kind of a moment with Buggy and Luffy before he dies. It would be super anticlimactic if he just dies and never gets to have that moment with Luffy. So I hope there's gonna be something like that. And I totally see the story ending with Luffy placing the straw hat on Shanks' grave. Because we know that the first part of the story after Marineford ends with Luffy placing the straw hat on the rock when he goes to train with Rayleigh. So it would be fitting if the last part, the final panel of the story is Luffy placing the straw hat on Shanks' grave. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I mentioned Luffy and Buggy, of course. I hope that Shanks and Buggy have some kind of a final resolution, some kind of a final meeting and a talk with one another. That would be so nice. But I think that's all I have to say about Shanks. I'm a huge fan, and then we have the final little boy over here, Monkey D. Luffy. I have nothing much to say about him. I don't want to stretch this video out much longer. He's gonna find out some kind of a prophecy at Laugh-Tale, most likely. His dream, whatever his dream is, we don't know. Bring everybody together, bring the whole world together as one, unite the world, something along those lines. Because we know that's Hyrudin's dream at Elbaf. The Prince of Elbaf's dream was to bring all the giants together, or something along those lines. I think it could be a reflection of what Luffy's dream is as well. And of course he becomes the Pirate King at the end of the story. Yep. I've discussed pretty much all the opponents that I want to see Luffy fight already in the previous characters. I want to see him fight against Akainu, and I want to see him fight against Blackbeard, of course. He's gonna fight against Emu now at Elbaf. Maybe another fight somewhere down the line. Yeah, I have nothing else to add to Luffy because he's such an obvious character. He's the main character of the story, so that does it. That's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This was a long one. I love rambling. I love talking about these characters so much. This is such a joy for me. I love this stuff. Thanks for watching if you actually watched the whole video. This was pretty crazy.